From the land of lakes, this is 10,000 Takes, brought to you by Minnesota Score Radio. Wally and Eric back for yet another week as we slice and dice the always busy, always topical, super saturated Twin Cities sports scene. And Wally, we have baseball leading off, as you would expect, in mid-June, and the Minnesota Twins remain in first place, AL Central.
3 games ahead of
the Cleveland Guardians.
The former
Am I
team,
right?
the team formerly known as the Indians.
Yeah, not the Chicago White Sox, who are scuffling, and there are already catcalls in the Windy City saying Tony La Russa's got to go. He's a Hall of Fame manager, and they want him out.
Did you see how their game ended the other day? Some guy, Luis Robert, tried to tag up and go to third base in the 12th inning, and they were down by 2 runs, and he got thrown out going to third base, and that was it. That was the last out of the game. I'm going, oh, my goodness. Now, that's something you can point to coaching to. You really can.
Well, no question. And earlier in the week against the L.A. Dodgers, he had a 1-2 count on one of the Dodger hitters and walked him intentionally. Tony did. And the next guy up for Los Angeles hit a bomba, and he got skewered over that one. So, look, you're right. Those are decisions that you can second guess. And in a tough market like Chicago, they're going to barbecue Tony.
Yeah. Glad to see the White Sox dropping like a rock. Doesn't bother me the least bit. But your Twins ended up taking – now, I know they lost on Sunday to finish up the series against Tampa, and they got shut out. But they did take 5 out of 9 against Toronto, New York, and Tampa. And if you look at those are the top 3 teams in the East, and they're all very good. Obviously, the Yankees are the creme de la creme. I mean, they're ridiculously good. They slaughtered the Cubs the other day.
Aaron Judge might hit 55 home runs or more
next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the Yankees are really good. And Toronto and Tampa are nothing to sneeze at either. So they take 2 out of 3 from both Toronto and Tampa, and they only get 1 out of 3 against the Yankees. You can make the argument they could have won 2 out of 3 there, too.
Well, overall, to have a winning record against the top 3 teams in the AL East, which is one of the best divisions in Major League Baseball, I think that's acceptable. What happened against Tampa Bay is they were able to win those first 2. You wanted to sweep before you head out west to Seattle, but you couldn't get it, and the Rays didn't want to leave with a broom. So I will say this. I was out there Friday and Saturday, and I saw something Friday night that was one of the coolest plays I've ever seen. Randy Arozarena of the Rays hit a high fly ball to deep right center. Nick Gordon tried to go back and track it, tried to catch it, misjudged it a bit. It banged off the wall and caromed halfway to the infield. Arozarena never broke stride. He looked like Usain Bolt. It was an inside-the-park home run, a pure sprint, not a play at the plate. It was incredible. I know it's not something Twins fans enjoyed, but you don't see that a lot.
Well, and the reason you don't see it a lot right now is the ballparks have gotten a lot smaller. So there are very few places. Detroit might be one of the only places where you have a lot of room in the outfield where you can get a triple or an inside-the-park home run. So it has to be an odd situation, like you said, like a weird carom, in order to allow somebody to do that. And obviously, the base runner's got to be pretty fast too.
Yeah, and he was, and it was fun to watch just as a spectator.
Over the weekend, we find out that Royce Lewis is done for the year, and it's unfortunate. And you still have to wonder a little bit: should he have been out in center field in the first place? I know it's a lot of second guessing, but a guy who never played there in the majors. And you stick him out there in center field when he comes back, and he runs into the wall a la Byron Buxton, and now he's hurt a la Byron Buxton, and he's going to be out for the rest of the year, and we're basically starting all over with Royce Lewis again next year.
It's tough. Royce Lewis has so much upside, and when he was here for 11 games, he was playing elite, and there was this uproar when the Twins sent him down to AAA St. Paul, but I'm not going to second guess it. He was on the team. Rocco said we want to move him around. We want to have him, be able to plug and play, so to speak.
How about third base or DH?
Yeah, well, in 12 months is what I'm hearing for Royce Lewis. So, but I have a bone to pick.
Okay.
SI wrote an article Sunday night about worst Minnesota sports injuries. They mentioned Royce Lewis, Kirby Puckett being beamed by Dennis Martinez of Cleveland.
Oh, boy, I was there for that one.
Dante Culpepper shredding his knee against Carolina. There were a few others. And those are all legitimate examples.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Well, they didn't bring that up, and that's a good one that you brought up. But it's as if Minnesota sports, because they said the history of Minnesota sports, it's as if it started in like 1990. Well, wait a minute. A guy died on the ice for the Minnesota North Stars, Bill Masterton.
That's
tragedy, right? Harmon Killebrew pulls a hamstring in an All-Star game in '68 in Houston. He's out for the season. Fran Tarkenton breaks a leg in a game against Cincinnati for the Minnesota Vikings. Carl Kosocki paralyzed in a motorcycle accident. None of this mentioned. So you young folks out there in the media, remember, Minnesota pro sports started around 1961. And if you really want to go back, go to the Minneapolis Lakers.
Yeah, the
they
Lakers.
won 5 titles.
Yeah, they did. And your L.A. Lakers, they claim that a part of their history. I'm not so sure that counts, but they do claim it.
They have a banner at Crypto.com Arena, now old Staples. It's a Minneapolis Lakers banner.
Do we have one at Target Center?
Heck no.
We have no banners at Target Center. Oh, boy.
No, the Lynx have 4, and they're not getting 5.
Yeah. All right. We're going to completely switch gears and talk to a young lady we talked to on the radio not that long ago, coming up next.
Yeah, Jasmine Harrison.
Yeah.
She was the first and youngest female to row solo across the Atlantic Ocean about a year and a half ago, 3,000 miles. Now she wants to swim the length of the United Kingdom. All that and more coming up. 10K Takes, your Twins ticket.
I've been meaning to give you these for many years. I think they're perfect.
Maya?
Oh, I love your earring. Why didn't you try these?
It isn't just about vision, it's about care. Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl.
Wally and Eric, 10,000 takes. And Eric, roughly, I'd say about a year and a half ago, a young lady from Great Britain, Jasmine Harrison, made a rowing expedition across the Atlantic, a transatlantic journey, 3,000 miles, 70 days, and she became the youngest female to ever cross the ocean in a transatlantic venture. And here she is today, and she's going to do something again that is almost mind-boggling. She's going to swim the length of the west coast of the UK, and she joins us now. Jasmine, boy, you just love the ocean, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
What inspired you, first of all, to do the rowing, and now what's inspiring you to take on this venture of swimming, which could take anywhere from what, a month and a half to 3 months, correct?
Yep. So for the row, to start with, it was just I wanted to do something cool that was challenging. I wanted to do something on the water because I wanted to be more involved with boats. And then the swim, it was something that I thought I wanted to do another challenge, but why don't I do something that I've done my entire life, which is swimming. I'd never rowed before, so I'm like, if I can do that, then what's the possibilities of doing something amazing with something that I've done forever? So I figured, let's do that. Let's stick locally as well and do a Land's End to John O'Groats, which is a very popular sort of route for cyclists and even walkers to do the full UK. And only 2 people have ever swam it. And I thought, let's swim it. Let's give that a go. And it also is a bit of a different challenge because mentally out at sea on the rowing boat, the fastest way for you to get home is to just row to Antigua. Whereas this is going to be a different kind of challenge because I could literally swim into shore, get on a train and get home straight away. I don't have to stick there. So it's that mental game of keep here, keep going, you can give up. Whereas on the rowing, you couldn't give up.
All right, so you're going to swim the UK from the south to the north. You'll be on the west coast. Explain that decision, west versus east, because I know you put a lot of thought into that.
Yeah, so the East Coast, anyway, which is a bit closer to where I'm based back home, it's not the cleanest water for a start because it divides us in Europe. Whereas on the West Coast, it is much prettier, much nicer water because you've got Ireland in the way and then you're straight across the Atlantic. And so also it's the prevailing winds move clockwise around the UK, so it just makes it that slight little bit easier. I'm not going to say it's easy at all, but a little bit easier than going the other way around.
You're coming to us from the UK right now in your support boat. So tell me what the support boat, what they're going to be doing, how far from shore you're going to be. Give us a little bit of insight into how that all is going to work.
So yeah, I'm on my support boat, which is 38 footer, much bigger than my row boat. But the plan is that they are going to stay fairly close by to me, about a mile offshore most of the way. I will have a kayaker in the water alongside me as well, just because you can't always guarantee the sailboat will be able to stick next to you. It might have to go off a little bit. And yeah, we'll stay about a mile, and apart from when we're going across channels, I'm not going to hug the coastline fully. So cutting across bays, I'm going to go across the Bristol Channel and stop at a place called Lundy Island in the middle. It's probably the most sort of sketchy point of the entire thing. And then we're going to go in between the Scottish islands all the way around.
So what you did by rowing across the Atlantic and what you want to do by swimming the length of the UK, that's daunting. Most of us can't fathom it. Physically, you've got to be in top-notch shape. I think we all know that. Mentally, how do you prepare mentally for this?
Well, I feel like the best preparation I had was with the row, so being thrown in at the deep end with that, and it was a bit more of unknown. Whereas this, again, it's a lot more comfortable. I've got a big boat. I've got people around me. I've got support. I've got a phone signal. I kind of feel that the mental preparedness is actually just mainly for the cold. It's dealing with that temperature and having to get out of bed in the middle of the night to get in the water. Rowing is different. You can stay dry, you can wear a hoodie, whereas getting in to a still damp wetsuit to then jump in the sea and having jellyfish stings. But yeah, I think all of the challenges with the row have mentally prepared me for it.
What are some of your concerns about the swim? What are some of the things that you're thinking that might be inhibit what you're trying to do?
So at the moment, the biggest thing is actually just having the support crew around me. So it's difficult to find people that are available over summer. People like their summers and don't necessarily want to be sat on a boat going at 2 miles an hour just watching me for 3 months. So that's the biggest thing that will inhibit it, is getting crew members on the boat and have people there the entire time. It might be we have to wait for a few days whilst a new crew member is arriving, and stuff like that, because I can't have the same people for the full time, and nobody has the time for it. Other than that, it's going to be weather. I can't control the weather, and if it is really bad and there's a storm, it's not safe for the boat to go out. It's not safe for me. It's not safe for a kayaker. It's not just me this time I'm thinking about. It's everybody else that's around and supporting me. So.
And jellyfish,
jellyfish
I hear might be a concern, right?
Yeah, so they're very well known to basically just sting your face as you swim. Two people that have done it previously were both men, and they could grow like a big beard to protect their face a little bit more. I can't do that, unfortunately. So it's just getting like neoprene hoods and stuff. So yeah, they'll be getting a bit of a pain, especially when they get wrapped around your fingers, and it's more that you can't feel it as much because it's cold, but it's when you get out and then you try and go to sleep and you're like, and suddenly like your hands are swollen up, your face is like red. Yeah, that's going to be one of the biggest things.
You received global attention when you rowed across the Atlantic solo. How has that changed your life? Are you a rock star in the UK now?
No, definitely not. No, it changed everything for me in terms of it's led on to sort of other things. I'm just a little bit happier that I've achieved something now, something like quite big. Like I didn't go to uni, so now I've got that under my belt. Like I can say I've done that with my life, and it's quite. I like to be able to have that. But it also made then doing something else like this a lot easier. A lot more people believe in you right from the start about it. And it just gives you confidence to think, yeah, things can be done. I did that. Everybody else saw it. So everybody says I can do this.
Oh, wait a minute. I think you have become a rock star. I'm gonna challenge that, because I saw an interview that you did shortly after you did a radio interview with us that you did with the Duchess of Cambridge with Kate Middleton. So you have kind of vaulted into the spotlight. Tell me a little bit about that. Was that a big thrill for you?
Yeah, that was really cool, actually. Like, a bit of a surprise as well. So, like, the Lord Lieutenant just rang me up and, like, from an unknown number saying, I'm trying to get in contact with you on behalf of, like, the royal family. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I got invited to a garden party at Buckingham Palace only a few weeks ago because of that, and I saw her. I didn't meet her. She was busy with everybody else that was there. But I saw her and just got that experience as well. So that was really amazing.
All right, I'm going to throw the gauntlet down. I know you will succeed swimming the length of the UK south to north. You can take another year and a half off, come over to the States, do the Mississippi River, freshwater, not saltwater, Lake Itasca, Minnesota, to the Gulf of Mexico and Louisiana. There's the next one for you.
Okay, what swimming it?
Swimming the Mississippi River.
Okay,
We
there's no
expect big
sharks
things
or
out of
anything
you.
there. Yeah, I mean, go for it.
Why not?
All right. So
Exactly.
is there some kind of a charity, or is there what is the end purpose of this? Are trying to draw attention to something, or is this just something like a personal thing that you're trying to do for yourself?
So it's a bit of everything, really. A bit like the row. Is this something that I just want to do? But actually, I can raise money for charity, so why not? But also with this, I want it to be a lot more inclusive. I want everybody to sort of get involved a little bit more. I am close to the UK, so I'm hoping with a lot of planning and stuff, we'll be able to get people to come out and swim with me for a day, maybe. And even like people can do their own challenges back home. So I'm swimming 900 miles. Maybe somebody does 900 of something else, so 900 seconds of exercise, it's 15 minutes. Or they could do 900 meters of swimming, for example. You know, that's like 36 lengths, I think. And stuff like that. So I want it to be a little bit more inclusive. And I can see people I'll visit, come back in to restock and sort of come and visit the boat, have a day out, and go to the sea. Here's an excuse to do something, basically. And so, yeah, I want to raise money. Charity's not 100% decided yet, but potentially something that funds sport in communities and schools to get people out there kids that might not be able to actually afford to join a club. There's a funding there. But I'm also toying with other charities like the lifeboats that rescue, but I'm thinking, is that quite appropriate? Because what if I need to use them?
Right.
But yeah, we'll raise lots of money for charity, and I want to host basically a big ball afterwards, which raises for lots of other smaller charities that my sponsors choose and stuff like that. But primarily, get people involved. So many people are supportive of the Atlantic, and nobody could actually be there. Whereas this time they can. I can say, I'm coming into land in Wales on this day. You can come out, you can come see what's going on. You know, you can sort of be part of it, talk to us about the storyline, and make it something else.
Any concerns from friends or family members? Anybody try to talk you out of this?
Yeah.
So to be fair on this one, it's been a bit of a whirlwind in preparing for it. It's just been suddenly like I'm literally planning to set off in a couple of weeks' time, maybe a week and a half. And my boat's currently out the water. I've just been anti-fouling the bottom of it, so I'm covered in paint and it's probably all over my face. And so I've not had much time to actually sort of inform everybody because everything's so fast changing as well. There's not really been a moment for my friends to go, oh, that's happening, until I suddenly send a picture saying, I'm on a boat. All right, you got a boat? I'm like, yeah, but it happened so fast. But they might be having an opinion. I'm not listening. I don't know.
So you don't care what your mother thinks right now.
No. All I've done, I communicate, but at the end of the day, It's like, it's so kind of stressful doing this. Unless you can actually help me with something that I need help with right now.
Well, Jazz, we appreciate you spending some time with us. We wish you well on your journey, and we want to check in back with you when you finish this in 3 months or so, and you can give us the lowdown on how it went.
Yeah, I will do. So thank you for having me back on the show. It's really cool, actually.
All right, thank you. She is Jasmine Harrison. She has already rowed across the Atlantic. Now she's going to swim the length of the UK. Back with more here on 10,000 Takes after this time.
I've been meaning to give you these for many years. I think they're perfect.
Maya?
Oh, I love your earring. Why didn't you try these?
It isn't just about vision, it's about care. Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl.
10K Takes rolls along, or in this case, swims along. Boy, the story Jasmine Harrison. First, she rows across the Atlantic, 3,000 miles. Now she's going to swim the length of the UK. I mean, she loves that ocean water, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's like a dolphin. And it's remarkable what she's done and is trying to do something, similar. And I give her a lot of credit. And I think she's an inspiration, Wally, or she can be. There are people out there maybe wanting or thinking about doing something. Maybe not on that grand of a scale, but, try to fight through your doubts. There's a great poem written by the former President Teddy Roosevelt, a great outdoorsman, called The Arena. And part of it is, quote, "It's not the critic who counts. The credit belongs to the man in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs but keeps on going." End of quote. So don't listen to the skeptics. We know Jasmine isn't, not even to her mom.
No, not even hearing what her mom says. If you can't help me, I don't want to hear it, basically, at this point. Oh, boy. Wow. All right, speaking of critics, the new LIV golf tournament has its critics. They crowned their first champion. The PGA folks are not giving in at all right now. And this guy, Carl Schwartzel, spelled C-H-A-R-L. I don't know if he says Charles or Carl, but he won $4 million for winning their first tournament. Dustin Johnson, oh, by the way, finished 7th there. I don't know. I guess I don't have a huge problem with these guys chasing. There are other tours. There is an Asian tour. There have been other tours. Why can't they do both? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I'm with you. And Jay Monahan, the PGA commissioner, he's drawn a line in the sand. It's a line of demarcation. He's basically saying you guys who have defected are not welcome back. It reminds me of AFL versus NFL back in the days, when football, the NFL was king, and here comes the AFL, and eventually there was a merger in 1970 to produce the NFL we know now, the cash cow. But I look at it like this. They can make the decision they want, they being a Dustin Johnson or a Phil Mickelson or somebody like that. I think personally, let them decide which tournament they want to play in on a week-to-week basis. I think Jay Monahan and the PGA come off like, hey, we're the only tour that should be on planet Earth. We're the only tour that, people should want to play with. It's a monopoly. They've had a monopoly. And you know what? This is just going to open it up.
Yeah. By the way, Rory McIlroy did win the PGA event this weekend. He defended his title at the Canadian Open, although the title was won back in 2019. They haven't played it the last couple of years.
Yeah, and I know the commissioner, Jay Monahan, was in Canada, and he had some very strong statements to say. So let's face it, they lost a whale in Phil Mickelson. I mean, that next to Tiger, that's your other marquee guy, and then Greg Norman's running the thing. And Dustin Johnson, I tracked him at the 3M Open last year in Blaine at TPC, and it was fun just to follow him around. He's very popular, but he won't be there in a few weeks, will he?
No, we're going to lose that, and that's a big deal, I think, to the local event. We're going to lose some names at this year's 3M tournament. Out in Blaine, because they have gone over to the LIV tournament, and right now PGA says that those guys can't play.
Well, and if you think about just sports through the decades, once upon a time free agency was this horrible thing. It was like a taboo, right? Changed the face of sports, really, all the sports. And then now, look at college, NIL, transfer portal. So what you're seeing are coaches, universities, they don't like it, right? It's upset the apple cart, but it's good for the athlete, or at least we think it is. But you have to adapt.
Yeah.
Be
Adapt
flexible.
or die.
Yeah.
Right?
Be flexible, Gumby.
Real quick, dying right now on the vine, your Minnesota Lynx. They now have the worst record in the WNBA. They lost to the Indiana Fever on Sunday, who previously had the worst record in the WNBA. Not a good year so far.
No, 3-11, and it's a shorter season, 34 games, so they're really just about on the brink of being done. Tough way for Sylvia Fowles to go out. She's a future Hall of Fame player. But, you're not going to win a title every year in the Lynx. We'll just call this a rebuild and a reload.
Yeah. All right, we will reload with our takes of the day. Coming up next, you are watching 10,000 Takes. Your Lynx ticket.
I've been meaning to give you these for many years. I think they're perfect.
Maya?
Oh, I love your earring. Why didn't you try these?
It isn't just about vision, it's about care. Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl.
$10K Takes, final segment of this week's show. Wally and Eric with you. Takes of the day. What's your mood? Grumpy Guardian, cranky Yankee. Maybe you're an inspired individual because of Jasmine Harrison. What is it?
Well, inspired, okay. I'm inspired to say that the high school seasons are wrapping up finally. The high school baseball state tournament this week, featuring a team that hadn't been there in 70 years, St. Louis Park. Hats off to the Orioles for making it there to the 4A tournament. It's now a 4-class tournament in baseball. But what I'd like to see with the state baseball tournament and baseball in general in high school sports, let's at least give an option to play it in the fall. There's several states in the United States that do this, particularly here in the northern tier of the U.S., where the weather is lousy in April, and it was lousy in April this year. So you're freezing out there watching your kid play, or the players themselves are freezing, and then they have to practice indoors in the gym, taking ground balls off the gym floor. None of that makes any sense. Start the season in August when they report for soccer and football. Have the baseball's players. This way, they don't really need a preseason. They've been playing all summer ball. Have them show up in August, play their season maybe 1 week into the practice, and then they could run their regular season right up to maybe the end of September, first week of October. And then you have your state tournament and your state championship game. Heck, they could play it at U.S. Bank Stadium if need be.
Ugh.
All right, maybe not there. But still, you'd be playing it at the same time that the World Series is going on. I like that.
All right. And the mood meter says you are a grumpy Guardian.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit fired up. Okay, well, my take of the day, the Stanley Cup Finals starts later this week, which is when you want high school baseball to have their season. And it took a while to get here because of the Olympic pause and all that. And, of course, the NHL did not send players to China. But I like the matchup. Tampa Bay going for the three-peat. Outstanding goalie Andrei Vasilevsky. You've got Nikita Kucherov, Steven Stamkos. This is incredible. They may win their third cup in a row, and they're a Florida-based team. And then you have Colorado, Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, Eric Johnson out of Bloomington, Darcy Kemper, the former Minnesota Wild goalie. A lot of pressure on the Avalanche to win the cup. They will start Wednesday in Denver. Elevation 5280. Hockey with an altitude.
I got Colorado.
I'll go with Tampa Bay.
All right, fair enough.
You know how much I like Colorado.
I know you do.
The state.
Why don't you just move there?
Well, I probably will someday.
Okay.
We got to go. Let's FedEx out those thank yous. One to the great crew here behind the scenes. Also to Rocky and Jasmine Harrison. For Wally, I'm Eric saying so long. We are 10K Takes, your sports ticket.